Winning hits to win. Wake up to the best. Overt Morning Show. Good morning. Good day. Where positivity keeps on scoring. Good vibes. Great kiss and stories to share. Overt Morning Show. Rising with you everywhere. When you come my way.
Alright, listeners, a very beautiful Monday. Alright, listeners, good morning to all our listeners right there in the studio here on Overt Radio. This is Overt Radio. Today is Friday, August 21, 2026. This is the 21st day of August 2026. It is the breakfast show here on Overt Radio, the Friday edition of Overt Radio Breakfast Show. My name is Ken, and we are broadcasting to you live from the city of Lagos. Hey, thank God it's Friday. Yes, it is 4 minutes gone past the hour of 8 o'clock. So this is what we do every morning, Monday to Friday. We bring you stories making headlines on the front page of our newspaper, the online version. We also talk about things that is going on in the country, and also we look at issues going on in the political corridor, and we will be able to do that this morning here on Overt Radio. Yes, today is packed. The Friday is packed here. The Friday edition of Overt Radio is packed. So I want to urge all our listeners, if you just tune in via our Zeno platform, zeno.fm/radio/Overt Radio, to please share that link to your friends and families and loved ones on your various WhatsApp statuses, so that they can benefit from what you are enjoying, so that they can learn more about what is going on in the country. All right, so get used to this habit of knowing what is going on in your country, because it will give you an informed decision. It will enable you to make decisions backed with knowledge. Okay, all right, let's get things started this morning. You can go to our various social media platforms on X, Overt Radio Live, on TikTok, overt.radio.lagos, and also on Instagram, Overt News, so that you can engage with our content, help us to share, comment, and like all our content on Instagram, Overt News, on X, Overt Radio Live, on TikTok, overt.radio.lagos, and also we are currently streaming live on our YouTube channel, Overt Radio Live. This Friday edition of the Breakfast Show is being brought to you by Liveback Pharmacy and Stores Limited, marketers of Ogama QS Subgel is an anti-malaria medicine, and also they are the marketers of Swedish bitters. Okay. Now, today is Friday. I would have loved to think things smoothly and easy, but what has been going on in the country's political corridor and other strata in the country, I may not think things easy or likely or smooth this Friday morning. Okay, let's get things started. On the Sun newspaper this morning, the Sun website this morning, this is Tinubu's talking. Going back to subsidy shows serious ignorance. Going back to subsidy shows serious ignorance. President Bola Tinubu has criticized calls to restore Nigeria's petrol subsidy, describing such a proposal as evidence of a poor understanding of governance and economic management. Tinubu spoke on Thursday at the presidential villa in Abuja while receiving Osun State Governor-elect Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke. Although the president did not name the politician behind the proposal, he said one of his opponents, so one of his opponents had recently advocated returning to the subsidy regime. Quote, okay, let's look at the trajectory of history. I saw one of my opponents now say he will go back to subsidy. Tinubu said. I read it. That is a demonstration of serious ignorance on governance and economy. The president defended his decision to remove the petrol subsidy shortly after assuming office in May 2023, arguing that the policy was necessary to prevent further pressure on government finances and improve the capacity of states to meet their obligations. According to Tinubu, 27 state governments struggled to pay workers' salaries and pensioners before his administration came into office, and had to rely heavily to support from the federal government. Before I came here, 27 states were unable to pay salaries, not to even talk of pensioners, salaries of workers, he said. Tinubu also stressed the state government carries significant responsibility because much of Nigeria's population resides outside the federal government's direct administrative structure. He listed road construction, housing, school rehabilitation, healthcare, and the training of teachers and health workers among the responsibilities requiring adequate public funding. The president has repeatedly maintained that ending the subsidy was necessary despite the increase in petrol prices and the wider economic difficulties that followed the policy. In May, he said the reform had prevented an impending national bankruptcy and created the basis for the gradual recovery of the economy. According to the reports, the federal government has also pointed to the financial gains from the policy. Finance Minister and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Taiwo Oyedele, said on Wednesday that the removal of the petrol subsidy generated 15.8 trillion naira in savings for the Federation between June 2023 and December 2025. Oyedele clarified, however, that the amount did not appear as a separate credit labeled subsidy savings in the Federation accounts. Between June 2023 and December 2025, subsidy savings mobilized the sum of 15.8 trillion naira in resources for the Federation account, he said. The minister said the funds formed part of the resources available to the Federation following the government's economic reforms. All right, so that was the president, defending his policy, removing petrol subsidy since May 2023, and as a result of that, according to the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, as a result of that removal of subsidy, 15.8 trillion, have been saved so far. And Tinubu was referring to one of Atiku's interviews. So I don't know if it was the BBC interview he had on Monday or on Tuesday that Tinubu was referring to, or a previous interview that was before the 2023 election that Atiku had with, I think it was Arise News Television or so, with Arise News Television, saying that he will continue that he would not remove subsidy. So it is not whether subsidy was removed or not. It is not whether subsidy was removed or it was sustained. Okay, the most important thing is, if you are removing subsidy, what are you going to do with the money that has been saved? Okay, nobody is saying that removing subsidy is bad or removing subsidy is good, and nobody is saying that sustaining subsidy is good or sustaining subsidy is bad. What we are saying is that if you have decided to remove subsidy from petrol or from fuel, the money that, because there was this general knowledge or general belief that money that is being saved from the suspension or from the abolition of subsidy will be channeled into a proper use. All right, so that was many Nigerians' assumption. That was what they believed. That was what was sold to us by this administration in 2023. Now, this is the Minister of Finance saying that let me get that. I need to get that date. Yeah, from June 2023 and December 2025, 15.8 trillion has been saved from the removal of subsidy. Let me go back to the report. Subsidy mobilized the sum of resource in the federation. Although they clarify that, however, the amount did not appear in a separate credit label subsidy savings in the federation account. So the crux of the matter is, what have you done with that 15.8 trillion that was purportedly, yes, this was what the Minister of Finance said. What has the government, what has the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu done with the 15.8 trillion that was saved from the suspension of subsidy, from the removal, from subsidy removal? Has it been used? Is that figure, is that money still in there? Is it still within the coffers of the federal government, of the federation account? So we need clarity, because this administration is fond of quoting figures. That is why a lot of people in the opposition keep on criticizing this administration. You're perfect in quoting figures. We want to see the evidence of these savings in the lives of Nigerians. Yes, there is no doubt we are beginning to see most of this savings going to some areas. Remember the other day, a few weeks ago, the federal government increased the salaries of personnel of the Nigerian military. Some in the lower rank, their salaries were increased by 80%. Some in the middle rank, the mid-level personnel, their salaries were increased by 50%. And also the most senior rank in the military, their salaries were increased by 30%. Fantastic. All right, fantastic. But we need to see this in the lives of the people. We need to see subsidy removal, the savings gotten from subsidy in the lives of the people. So that is why members in the opposition are always criticizing the government that when a particular economic figure or a financial figure is being quoted, we want to see this in the lives of Nigerians, in the lives of you and I. What has it been used for? Has that money been used to acquire more mass transit on Nigerian roads? Has that money been used to equip school laboratories in the country? Has that money been used? So, of course, there are some of the infrastructure that is going on, but what is the source of that infrastructure? So Nigerians want to see the effect, the impact of this 15.8 trillion saved from the removal of fuel subsidy. Is it that since the removal of subsidy, Nigerians are now getting more affordable drugs in the hospitals? Are there more hospitals in Nigeria than ever before? Has transportation, as cost of transportation, has it reduced? How many mass transit does each state have as a result of the removal of subsidy? The food school feeding program, is it still in existence? I want to believe that yes, this current administration met that program adopted or initiated by the previous administration of late President Muhammadu Buhari. Primary school children, are they still being fed in public schools? How many farmers are receiving grants to enhance their productivity? So these are the things that Nigerians want. We don't want leaders to be quoting figures on the pages of the newspaper, on television, on radio, on social media, saying that 15.8 trillion has been saved. What are you doing? Where is the money? What have you done with it? Have you spent it? Will it be spent on what? We need proper accountability as regards to that. That is that removal of subsidy, defending President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's, policy. Now, for subsidy not to be removed or reversed, because Atiku Abubakar says that he will reverse, removal of subsidy. Now, what other alternatives are you going to do? Will Nigerians continue to get fuel at cheaper price? Because since the removal of subsidy, fuel has skyrocketed, quadruple, 4 times or 3 to 4 times. And as it is at the moment, we don't see an end to the continuous increase in fuel price. So yes, it is agreeable that this is what has been realized from the removal of subsidy. Fantastic. The figure is there. Okay, the figure is there. But what are you going to do with that? What are you going to do with it? You don't just save. It is good to save. But if you are saving, and you are not utilizing what you are saving for, the people will begin to groan, because you are just giving them figures, and they are not seeing these figures in the country. They are not seeing these figures, in their lives. These figures, it is not being translated in the life of the people. There is no impact. Yes, workers' salary are no longer being delayed. Salaries are being paid as at when due by the state governors. Fantastic. Now, the state governors have more money like never before. So that was why the president was reiterated that most of the responsibility in this country as leaders, in governance, lie more on the state governors. The state governors have enormous responsibility. So that is why they are receiving more than what they've been receiving before. I think it was yesterday when I gave out a figure about how much state governors, their monthly allocation before this current administration. Now it has tripled. All the 36 states of the Federation receives nothing less than more than 1.5 trillion naira on a monthly basis, and is being distributed, shared across these 36 state governors in the country, the subnationals. It is a fantastic thing that subsidy has been removed, but what will be done with it? What are you doing with it? So that is why some people in the opposition will be criticizing the government. That is why, because Atiku, maybe based on his thinking, this subsidy that people are saying that, have been saved, we're not seeing it in the country. It is not being evident in the lives of Nigerians. All right. So that is that for that story. It is 22 minutes gone past the hour of 8 o'clock. We are broadcasting to you live from the city of Lagos. Lagos is a center of excellence. You can go to our various social media platforms to interact, to engage with our content on X, Overt Radio Live, on Instagram, Overt News, on TikTok, Overt.radio.lagos. We are currently streaming on YouTube, Overt Radio Live. All right, let's go to the second story there. Tinubu will defeat Kwankwaso in Kano. This is coming from Jibrin. 2027, Tinubu will defeat Kwankwaso in Kano. A member of the House of Representatives, Abdul Mumin Jibrin, has expressed confidence that President Bola Tinubu will defeat former Kano State Governor Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso in Kano during the 2027 presidential election. Jibrin, who represents Kiru Bebeji Federal Constituency of Kano State, made the prediction during an interview on Channels Television's Politics Today on Thursday. The lawmaker, a former political associate of Kwankwaso, who now belongs to the ruling All Progressive Congress, said his familiarity with the former governor's political structure would help the APC counter his influence in the state. Asked whether Tinubu could defeat Kwankwaso in Kano, Jibrin responded, he will, because many of us know the dynamics, his strategies, how he operates. The Kwankwasia movements, their strengths, their weaknesses. Kwankwaso, who governed Kano for 2 terms, is currently the vice presidential candidate of the Nigeria Democratic Congress (NDC) with former Anambra State Governor Peter Obi as the presidential candidate. Jibrin acknowledged Kwankwaso's continued influence and strong support base in Kano, warning that the contest would not be easy. Quotes, "We know him very well. We know his strategy. He is still influential. He has supporter base in Kano. Whoever tells you he doesn't have supporter base in Kano, base is not telling you the truth. So it's going to be a tough battle." However, the APC lawmaker argued that Kwankwaso's position as a running mate rather than a presidential candidate would significantly alter the electoral dynamics in Kano. There's a difference between Kwankwaso being on the ballot as a presidential candidate and being on the ballot as a running mate. He added that if Kwankwaso were contesting for the presidency himself, the political calculations in Kano could have been different. If Kwankwaso were on the ballot as a presidential candidate, the dynamics in Kano might have been different, but he's not. He's not a presidential candidate, he says. Jibrin also addressed his political relationship with Kwankwaso, explaining that although the former governor had played an important role in his political development, they now belong to different political camps. He said he remained appreciative of Kwankwaso's support and would continue to respect him despite their differences. Of course, he gave me a push in politics, and I appreciate everything, and I have said repeatedly, I will continue to respect him. I will never join issues with him, Jibrin said. The lawmaker noted that both politicians had experienced changes in political affiliation, adding that Kwankwaso himself had moved between political parties. Tinubu is seeking re-election. All right, so that is that. So yeah, Abdulmumin Jibrin, who was also, I think he was affiliated with the NNPP or so, but he admitted that, if not for the likes of Kwankwaso, that Kwankwaso gave him the political push in his career, and he says that that Tinubu will defeat Kwankwaso in Kano State in 2027. I'm not sure if that is if that calculation is correct, because even in 2023, Kwankwaso won in Kano State. About to be Kwankwaso won in Kano State. Yes, then okay, now because he won in Kano State because he was a presidential candidate. Okay, he won in Kano State because he was a presidential candidate in the 2023 presidential election on the platform of the New Nigerian People's Party. So you can never tell. So don't be certain, because a candidate might win in this state today, and the next election he might not win, in that state. So you can never tell. Although there's an element of truth, of fact to what Jibrin has said, that if Kwankwaso had to be in the ballot as a presidential candidate, that is going to be a different ball game for Tinubu, that he will give Tinubu a run for his money. But now that Kwankwaso is a vice presidential candidate to Peter Obi, that there's a possibility, that Tinubu will defeat Kwankwaso. But I am still uncertain concerning that. Concerning that calculation made by Jibril. He might be right, he might be wrong, but according to what he's saying, time will tell. If in 20, that will be in January 16. Like I said yesterday, the election in the 2027 general election is about 5 months to go. Less than that, even maybe 4 or 5 months. So it's still right. It's about 5 months. The 2027 general election is about 5 months away. So let us see. Time will tell if Tinubu will be able to defeat, will be able to win, if APC will win Kano State in the presidential election. You never can tell. This is politics, because politics is a game of number. If you have the number, you take the edge. If you don't have the number, you can't take the edge here. Alright, let's go to the next headline. 29 minutes gone past the hour of 8 o'clock. This is Overt Radio Breakfast Show. My name is Ken. We are broadcasting to you live from the city of Lagos. Alright, yes. The third story is making headline this morning is coming from Delta State Governor Sheriff Oborevori. He said, I earn 503,000 naira monthly, less than permanent secretaries. Delta State Governor Sheriff Oborevori has disclosed that he earns a monthly salary of 503,000 naira, while permanent secretaries in the state receive 900,000 naira. Oborevori made the disclosure on Thursday during the inauguration of 12 four-bedroom terrace duplexes and the presentation of 12 official vehicles to newly appointed permanent secretaries in Asaba. The governor said the salaries of permanent secretaries were increased after they complained that some directors were earning almost the same amount as them. When the permanent secretary said most of the directors are receiving almost the same thing with them, we increase their money. Today, permanent secretaries, your salary is 900, my salary is 503,000. Governor's salary. Head of service is 1 million. It's clear. So some of them don't want their husbands to know how much they are receiving. Oborevori said his administration had prioritized the welfare of civil servants, noting that official vehicles had been provided to 7 permanent secretaries to improve their mobility and efficiency. To enhance their mobility and operational efficiency, we provided official vehicles to 7 permanent secretaries, and today it is my pleasure to present another 12 vehicles to the permanent secretaries that were recently sworn in. He added that 302 public officers had benefited from the Public Officers Vehicle Loan Scheme, while 119 others had received support under the Public Officers Housing Loan Scheme. The governor also said civil servants interested in agriculture had been provided with farm inputs to create additional income streams and contribute to food security. Okay. He said 450 senior management staff had also received support to participate in a 7-weekend training program through collaborations with Administrative Staff College of Nigeria. Oborevori said the appointment of 12 permanent secretaries in May ensured that every local government area in Delta had a permanent secretary in the state civil service, adding that the appointments were based on merits. The governor further disclosed that Delta had approved the payment of 13-month salary to civil servants from December, with an executive bill being prepared to give the policy legal backing. He urged civil servants and political appointees to shun absenteeism, nepotism, waste, inefficiency, bribery, and corruption while performing promising continued investment in infrastructure and measures to improve service delivery. All right, yes. So I'm going to talk about this during the political update by 9 o'clock sharp this morning. So there's a whole lot of things that I need to talk about concerning this story. But in a nutshell, what I would like to say in response to what Sheriff Oborivori said is that it is not arithmetically correct. It is not arithmetically correct that that governors now this is a state, okay? This is a state. It is not arithmetically correct that that permanent secretaries earn more than governors in the state or in Delta State. Arithmetically is not correct, but on paper it is correct. But outside there's what they call under the table transaction. But outside the payroll, there are other things that governors receive. So if you want to know other things that governors receive, this is just the base. Okay, 503,000 naira is the base of what governors receive. Okay, his salary cut across all the governors in the country. Okay, all the 36 governors in the country. But Sheriff Oborivori cannot fool Nigerians or cannot fool us to say that the only salary you receive is 503,000 naira. He didn't talk about the allowance. He didn't talk about the car allowance. He didn't talk about security votes. There are a whole lot of things that these people. He didn't talk about pension. His pension. After 4 years of being a governor, you are entitled to pension. Then another 4 years, if you are re-elected, you are entitled to pension. He didn't talk about those ones. Alright, he didn't talk about those ones. Do permanent secretaries, do they get security votes? He didn't talk about security votes. So these are the things that I would like to say by 9 o'clock this morning during the political update. There is a whole lot of things. Okay, there's a whole lot of things. Annual salary, vehicle loan, severance gratuity, security votes. There's a whole lot of things that I would like to talk about by 9 o'clock. Okay, let's go to the next headline. So on the fourth story this morning, Adeleke to Tinubu, thank you for giving us a free Osun pool. Okay, thank you for giving us a free Osun pool. Alright, that is Adeleke to Tinubu. Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke has thanked President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for what he described as a federal government role in ensuring a free and fair governorship election in the state. Adeleke made the remarks on Thursday when he visited Tinubu at the presidential villa in Abuja. To present his certificate of return following his victory in the August 15 governorship election. The governor defeated the All Progressive Congress candidate Bola Oyebamiji and the African Democratic Congress candidate Najim Salam in the closely contested poll. Adeleke secured 511,067 votes, while Oyebamiji polled 444,815 votes, and Salam Najim finished third with 17,180 votes. The governor won in 19 local government areas, while Oyebamiji prevailed in 11. Speaking with State House correspondents after a closed-door meeting with the president, Adeleke praised Tinubu for what he described as his commitment to protecting Nigeria's democracy. That is why I am here to thank Mr. President, the father of the nation, because he fought for this democracy, Adeleke said. He added, that is why he allowed free and fair election, and that is the result. That is why I am here to say thank you to ensure that democracy lives in Nigeria. Adeleke arrived the State House. Okay. All right. So yeah, it is a good thing that Governor Ademola Adeleke, visited Tinubu, to show appreciation, for the outcome of the August 15 governorship election, which Adeleke was re-elected as governor. That was a landslide victory, winning 19 states out of the 30 state, and then Bola Oyebamiji won 11 state. Oh, wow, that's about 8 state difference. You can see in 9. You can see the difference. So it's a good thing. He's a smart man. Governor Ademola Adeleke is a smart man. If he visits Tinubu, do you think that if these are just political moves, despite the fact that the local government funds in Osun, I don't know I don't know the development of that story now. I don't know the current where they are. If because I think that maybe it was a court that ordered federal government to release the withheld local government funds in Osun. So his fraternity with the president will also soften the president's hearts, and soften the president's heart so that the withheld local government funds in Osun, will be released so that they can do the necessary things that should be done in the local government. I think they have a case. The Osun state government and the federal government has a case as regards to the withheld funds of the local government areas in Osun state. So Adeleke is a smart man. He's a smart man. He has made a smart move to go and thank the president, for the outcome of the governorship election last week Saturday. So we hope to see more friendship between Adeleke and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, irrespective of the political affiliations they are having in Osun State. Okay, so let me see if I can. It is 39 minutes gone past the hour of 8 o'clock. Okay, I've exhausted all the story that I want to exhaust because I want to take our time so that our listeners can prepare for the breakfast, for the political updates coming by 9 o'clock. It's no longer 9:15. I've now shifted it to 9 o'clock because there's a whole lot of things that I want to talk about during that time. I doubt if I'll be able to exhaust it for 30 minutes, 9:15 to 9:45. So I want to make sure that I do an extensive talk about what Sheriff Oborevori said, saying that governors earn 503,000 naira on a monthly basis. So, all right, listeners, 9 o'clock, I will be here for the political update. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned.
Why you acting up? Oh, kilo day, why you don't need bar? Forgot about love.